Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to your Tuesday math lesson. We are on lesson 2.8, and that starts in your Go Math book on, page 107. Okay, so today we are going to multiply using mental math. So if you remember, a while back, we also did addition with mental math as well. So this time it's just with multiplying. So the whole idea is just how are we going to group numbers in such a way that we can multiply easier. So let's look at our unlock the problem here. So we are going to be talking about properties of multiplication a little bit. So quick review, we have commutative, which is just think switch. And then we have associative, think parentheses. Okay, so we are looking at the word problem here. There are 4 sections of seats in the Playhouse Theater. Each section has 7 groups of seats. So I'm going to start circling my numbers. Each group has 25 seats, okay? How many seats are there in the theater? So if you look here, we are multiplying 4 times 7 times 25. So at first glance, it looks pretty scary, doesn't it? Kind of intimidating. So, but if we use the commutative property, remember switch, we can actually change around these numbers in such a way that it's easier to multiply, which you can see that right below what I just circled. So instead of multiplying 4 times 7 times 25, we're switching 4 and 7. So think 4 times 25 is 100. Now, how do we come up with that so fast? Well, you know quarters? Remember those little quarters we have? They're each worth 25 cents. 4 quarters make $1. That's how we came up with that. Right? So now that we know that, we can just go 100 times 7, and then we get 700. Pretty simple, right? Now it's not so hard. So we're going to do that again with a different problem. Okay, so real quick, just to show you that try this. If we use the associative property, remember that's the property I said has the parentheses in it. So if we look at this problem here, we have 6 times 10 times 10, which again, at first glance, that's kind of scary, right? But if we just temporarily change up our numbers so that 6 times 10 times 10, ignore this just for a second, and just focus on 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100, right? And then we can say 6 times 100, which is 600. So all this strategy is just simply rearranging numbers in such a way that you're putting 2 numbers together that are easier to multiply. Okay? All right. Now, what do we do when we have a problem that looks real scary, like this? 24 times 250. Wow, that's really big numbers, right? Well, what we do, let's break down the 24 into 6 and 4, because 6 times 4 is 24, right? And now that we've broken it down, we can do this. Let's do 6 times 250. And then we figure that out first. And then now I'm going to have to think about this for a minute. So even for me, this is kind of tough to do in my head. So, oh, actually, there's an even better way to group this. What am I thinking? We can do 4 times 250 first. 4 times 250. which is 1,000. That's convenient. Now we could think 6 times 1,000. Okay, 6,000. Right? So that's the whole idea of this lesson. How do we break down numbers? How do we group numbers? How do we make this multiplying thing easier? Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And I'm going to do a few example problems. So you will see problems like this guy. You will see a problem like this guy in your homework as well. So when you get a problem that has 3 numbers that you need to multiply, first you have to think, okay, how can I group these so that it's easier? So when I'm looking at this one, I see, well, these two are nice and friendly. 6 times 50. I know what 5 times 6 is. It's 30. And then I just add another 0, and it's 300. So then, I'll write 300 right above that. And now all I have to do is 4 times 300. Now remember, when you're multiplying with zeros, what you want to do is just temporarily ignore those zeros, okay? Then you just focus on the math fact. And then you add in the zeros. Okay? Now, what if you get a problem like number 3, where you have a 3-digit number? Well, it's the same idea. Now, what I like to do when I get to these bigger numbers, I like to stack them like this. I think that's a 5, isn't it? Oh, I'm blocking my own way. Let me erase that. It is a 5. Okay, just wanted to make sure. See? Now it's easier to see. And then all I have to do is multiply 5 times that number, which is 0. Okay, and then next, we go 5 times 2, going diagonal, which is 10. So I'm going to drop my 0, carry my 1. Okay, then finally I have 5 times 4, which is 20, plus 1 more, which is 21. Okay. I had to do a little bit of regrouping there. Okay, now then, you will not be getting any problems like these yet. Okay, 2 digits by 2 digits. Okay, now I need to skip ahead to a problem that you are doing in your homework, which is a go deeper question, this guy right here. I'm not going to give you the answer, but I can at least get you started. So Kyle and Karen each bought 6 books of ride tickets at the fair. Each book has 15 tickets. How many tickets did they buy altogether? Okay, so I circled my numbers already. Now I need to underline the question. So how many tickets did they buy all together? Now I need to box in my keywords. Well, each. So Kyle and Karen each bought books of ride tickets at the fair. Each book has 15 tickets, and altogether that tells me we want to know a total number. Okay, so this is going to involve multiplying, right? So I do know that there are 6 groups of 15. Okay, so think of it this way. 6 books or groups of 15. So there's 15 tickets at each of those groups. We want to know how many these 2 people bought together, okay? So each of them has this, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. Gave you a pretty big hint there. Okay, guys. Now then, I do take problems out of your homework. You're going to see some of these problems right here. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you is to not go too fast. This is still a new skill. So, one last hint. If you see a problem like this is what I like to do when I stack my numbers. So this is the one time I'm going to give you permission to put a number out of line. Let me erase that real quick. This is what I like to do, just to make it a little easier for me to see. I scooch the 0 over like that. So that just reminds me to not write the 0 twice, okay? Because when you're multiplying with zeros, it's easy to just want to do like a whole row of zeros like that, but that's not necessary. I like to scoot it over like that. Because then it tells me, okay, I just need to write it once and then forget about it. And then I just multiply normally. So 5 times 8 is 40, carry the 4. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 more, 14. Okay? Just a little tip. All right, guys, that is it. Don't forget to do your assignment and submit the answers on It's Learning.